Channel FFF 3000, Ratfinks, Monkey Brains, and more Macabre communications. Megamostro and Susie Blades versus the Astro Invaders from Planet F. At night they came, scanning the outer depths of Monster World for a new place to conquer, and triumphant they were, slowly taking the lives of the folk who lived there. But when they traveled to the metropolitan areas, they faced two heroes who took them head on. Yes, these two were Megamostro and Susie Blades, siblings with a thirst for justice and good inside the darkness of Monster World. At first, it seemed impossible for the duo who sought to use guns, katanas, martial arts, and wrestling moves, but eventually they found some hope. Yes, the duo brought forth their kaiju-sized mechas and easily defeated the Astro Invaders' ships. But these fiends were not to be defeated so easily, as they too had some tricks up their sleeves, and they summoned their mighty Goliaths, King Rooster and Queen Chicken, kaiju-sized creatures that came in the form of their namesakes, but with the abilities to spit laser from their eyes and beaks. Thus, the battle for the sake of Monster World seemed difficult for the siblings. But after fending with the giant Astro Birds for a while, Megamostro and Susie Blades managed to decapitate said monsters, with the laser blades their mechas had as backups. Of course, Megamostro would have preferred a good kaiju-sized wrestling match, like SNK's King of the Monsters. But Susie was not one to take things lightly when it came to the potential destruction of Monster World. So, the Astro Invaders and their kaijus were handled swiftly and sent back to Planet F, hopefully forever. Doña Bamba y sus pociones malditas. Nunca debieron haberse burlado de Doña Bamba cuando era niña, ya que crearon a una mujer llena de odio, una mujer que se inclinó hacia el lado oscuro de la humanidad, y es por eso que Doña Bamba creaba pociones malditas con saliva, sangre o cabellos de aquellas personas que se burlaban de su práctica. Cuidado cuando buscas en su nevera, que te podrás llevar varias sorpresas. The Shining Figure. There she sat, the little girl watching TV in her abuela's home, and on the corner of her eye, she would see that bizarre shining figure sitting beside her, watching TV with her. The figure was human in form, but she couldn't tell it wasn't made of flesh. It seemed like it was made of some form of light or beam. The figure never tried to scare or hurt her, but she was definitely scared, and the mental scars stayed with her all the way to her grave. The Hallway Ghoul. The Hallway Ghoul would only appear once when she was only 6 years old. It would stand there, staring at her, without moving a bit, as she poured some milk on her bowl of cereal. She eventually saw it, and it didn't flinch. It just stayed there, and she quickly ran back to her parents' room, and when they came to see, the ghoul just stood there, staring at them too. And as they tried to shoo it away, the ghoul kept its ground, and even they got scared, and eventually went back to the room, hoping the ghoul would at some point go away. But this would never happen. Come to the party, Grandpa. She was merely a baby when she said those words, but those words would spook their family for years to come. Grandpa, come to the party. Come to the party, Grandpa. You don't need to be beside the garbage, Grandpa, she said to the trash can on her birthday. And as she would later find out, that trash can was heavily connected to her grandfather, as it was the location where his family dumped him after they killed him for his life insurance. Caco Cats in Cacolina. Caco Cats standing in the corner like Top Cat, listening to reggaeton full blast, scaring human beings across all sides because they've never seen humanoid felines come to life. But yes, it's true. These cats were created by mad scientists who had no code of ethics. He didn't care on what he practiced. All he wanted was to show he was the smartest. Thus, he gave old lives new lives, experimenting, playing to be God. He even tried it on dogs inspired by Cerberus. but all he managed to do was create caco cats, and those cats took their vengeance, ripping out his eyeballs, ending up with no resemblance of who he was at all. Now the caco cats stay in their corner, scaring away those who face them with all types of horrors that nobody has ever dreamt. Trujillo BC Goblins. Trujillo BC goblins riding around town, swinging bats and axes, scaring folk all around, causing mayhem all around, havoc underground with no mega monstro to stop them. It's all fun and games, as there is no one to detain them from their actions. It's all a chaos for fun transaction. The Guanica Deathworms. Similar to tremors, graboids, similar to those in Mongolia, the Guanica deathworms hide in the desert and warm weathers of the small beach town. Many have said to have seen them, others call it a farce, until they mysteriously lose loved ones in warm location. Beware the Guanica deathworms. They'll eat you whole and then spit your bones, followed by a loud belch. Perreo hasta la muerte. Perreo hasta la muerte, esa fue la tortura de la iglesia a los cacos y el pueblo no podía hacer nada para ayudarlos. De hacerlo, serían malditos a la misma tortura. Perreo hasta la muerte, perrear sin parar, escuchando la misma canción en loop, sin poder comer, sin poder tomar agua, sin poder dormir, hasta que el cuerpo falle y no pueda más. Perreo hasta la muerte, la tortura de la iglesia a todos los cacos y toda persona que demuestre algún tipo de pasión hacia el reggaetón o dembow. Invasion of the flesh-eating ants. Little by little, they invaded their home. It all started by feasting on their leftovers, but then they grabbed their food from the cabinets and fridge. And then, when they grew bored of regular human food, they pondered about the taste of human flesh, and so they planned and then attacked. First, they went after the husband while he was sat down working on his new book, and they attacked like a swarm. He tried to scratch them out, but they quickly overpowered him, getting into his mouth, eyes, and nose until they ate his flesh. Later, when their wife arrived, they simply waited like a typical movie villain. She called for her husband, and when he didn't answer, she just turned him around and only saw an army of ants still eating at his face, and she just screamed like Lila in Hitchcock's Psycho, only to be attacked by an army of ants until she fell like Ash in Army of Darkness. And she screamed and screamed like the greatest scream queens ever known. But no one ever heard her, for the flesh-eating ants were fast and quickly ate away, much like they did her husband before her. The Rockmen of Cayey. Up in the mountains they hide, eating nothing but sand and trees, until one day they grew tired of said food and they decided to try something new. Below their homes, cars would often travel, and so they decided to stop them by throwing themselves at them. Inside the cars, they found their new meals, creatures called humans made of something called flesh, and they were delicious, and so it started. The mountains of Cayey would no longer be safe travel areas, especially at night, as the Rockmen would always be on the lookout, waiting for new meals to eat. Beyond the Valley of the Headless Men. Between the hills and mountains, accompanied by a river of corpses, there lies a valley of headless men full of chaos and darkness, tragedy and all sorts of evil just waiting to be investigated in order to be fed by foolish men. Cat nuns. Women who preached the word of God, suddenly cursed by those who praised the devil, now turned into cat slaves who serve as pets, who serve as entertainment, fools that'll never get to preach or see their Lord while they serve their time as Satan's servants. The Clown Forest. Here they live, and here they commit their devilish acts, scaring men, women, and children, and kidnapping them, only to torture them, and later serve them as breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Beware the Clown Forest. the wretched home of otherworldly peoples with painted faces and fake smiles. The ghoulish escapades of the phantom monkeys. Across the island of Boricén, simian escapees roam from Maya Wasted to Lajajas, searching for new places to call home. While some still live, others have perished. Now those who have passed aid their living loved ones by taking vengeance on those who've used them as forms of entertainment. They've been called the phantom monkeys due to their corpse-like appearance and ghoulish activities. Nobody knows why they do what they do, even though the answer is quite often acted upon in the world of men. Necropolis. Beneath that house of power, beneath that house of horrors, lies a graveyard, lies a house, lies a city, a necropolis, if you will. A city full of the undead just waiting for more of their victims to be dispatched in order for the population to keep growing. 14,000 victims already form the population of said city, but a few more would always be welcomed so they could eventually take over the world of man. The tragedy of Daniel the Hunchback. All he wanted was to be loved. He committed murder for his master. He aided his master in the field of science. All he wanted was to be loved. And when she showed affection, he found a way out of the madness. But she then fell for a cursed man, a man who would later kill her. Daniel would later try to save her, but it would be too late. So he wanted revenge upon all those who had wronged him. But the science he helped push forward would eventually kill him too, as a monster had risen and was only loyal to the scientist he considered a father. The Beast of Playuela Beach. From beneath the land and the sea arises a creature never before seen, a giant reptile being fused with the trash left in sea and green. Those in the lighthouse have seen it, but they've never been believed. A beast that will feast from west to east, for it only wishes to feed, and no one will stop its stampede. So all of you fear the creature you've mutated, for it draws near wherever you're located. The shocking tale of Dr. Franz Edelman. A man of science turned mad scientist turned creature of the night, giving himself to darkness, throwing himself to chaos, no longer embracing his humanity, now fueled by the forces of evil, ready to bring forth fear and death. Horror consumes his every action. Nothing else inspires him. Disorder and mayhem now serve as his lifelong mission. Bigfoot's mission upon viewing the reaction of his existence by the human race. He stomps across the world's green pastures, across the world's countryside, impregnating unaware defenseless ladies, in order to continue his legacy and slowly bring forth a race of giant ape-like creatures who will eventually battle the human race for the throne on top of the food chain. Zippermouth. I have been silenced. I have been captured, strapped in a straitjacket in this lonely asylum. My eyes are closed by needles and strings. My mouth is shut. A zipper has me shut. I can hear, but I can't see, and I can't eat unless the doctor comes in. The doctor's come in, opens my mouth, spiders come out, and he gives me a feast. Spiders and ants are all I eat. Delicious to you? I don't think so. Delicious to me? Yes, it is. It is what I eat. It is my feast. The frog shower. They fell from the sky alongside the blood that replaced the rain. It was a moment that will never be forgotten. The frog shower combined with blood started the end of the human race. Only a few people remain while the frogs slowly evolve and adapt, becoming rulers of this new earth. Entre Guánica y Sabana Grande. Entre Guánica y Sabana Grande hay una carretera hecha de calaveras y esqueletos. Por eso solo se escucha ruido cuando viajas por ella. Pero ese ruido también se oculta, el llanto de las almas enterradas, para crear ese camino. Funeraria o cementerio. Luego de dar vueltas por el pequeño pueblo, la familia se detuvo en una gasolinera a pedir direcciones. En ella no había nadie, solo un señor vestido de negro y rojo. Inicialmente el padre no confiaba de la figura misteriosa, pero le fue a preguntar, ¿cómo se llega al bosque sin fin? Y el señor respondió, ¿funeraria o cementerio? Lo cual confundió al padre, y una vez más preguntó, ¿cómo se llega al bosque sin fin? Y la figura otra vez respondió, ¿funeraria o cementerio? Y a esto el padre preguntó, ¿qué quiere decir con eso? Y la figura respondió, ¿qué quiere visitar primero? ¿El cuarto de su futuro funeral o el espacio de su futura tumba? El padre, justificadamente asustado, simplemente se montó en su auto y se fue. Días después, esa figura de negro y rojo sería quien prepararía los cuartos de funeraria para toda la familia y los espacios para sus tumbas en el cementerio justo al lado de estas. Blood printed books. Blood printed books, they made blood printed books. Now the church deems them satanic. But oh, if they only knew that what they preach is not far from the truth. For these new blood printed books will summon creatures never before seen. But they don't come from the depths of hell, no. They come from outer space, from a planet called K. Creatures with a mission to conquer the entire human race. And if they're not willing to succumb, then the creatures are willing to destroy. So, fear the blood printed books, for giant, cosmic, Lovecraftian creatures will come and conquer, for each book that is blood printed, that is read out loud. Friday. Don't go out on Friday, for if you do, you'll drown. Don't go out on Friday, for if you do, you'll be visited by 1,000 virgins. Don't go out on Friday, for if you do, Satan will visit. Don't go out on Friday, for if you do, the legions of hell will storm earth. Preached Ted Wayne Berkowitz. FM 181.8 Rewind Radio. Welcome everybody to FM 181.8 Rewind Radio, your favorite station to listen to your favorite records on rewind as we summon spirits and ghouls to frighten the land of man. We got it all, from pop to rock, from stellar fiends like Dickie Inferno and she-devils like Lady Fafa, to your favorite bands like the Repulsive Bizarro Dreadfuls and the Four Romantic Devils. We got it all on FM 181.8 Rewind Radio. Hecatombe. Millions gather around the psychedelic jazz funk band of Lobstermen while they play their souls out, sacrificing all of their fans, sacrificing themselves too, as they slowly bring forth the mighty cosmic, laser-shooting, lobster-like deity Iral the Destroyer, who shall bring forth death to the land of men. Maggie, Lamar, and their tunes from hell. There they go, siblings from hell, Maggie with large bat wings, Lamar with a long devil tail, and both with long hair and eyelashes, riding on horses from hell to the world, singing songs of debauchery, making everybody dance, even religious folk twerk. It is mind-bending that some would call mind-controlling. But Maggie and Lamar don't care. They just follow their master's creed and bring forth sin to the world of man before Satan can come and become king. Felicidad. Desde el oeste en grupo vienen la muerte viviente sin cabeza montando gallos de tamaño humano mientras tocan surf rock y punk mezclado con bomba plena y salsa. Algunos le llaman diablos, otros los petardos, pero ellos se llaman felicidad. Bollywood Undead. They came for brains of those who've shamed all of their names. It ain't a game. Bollywood undead covering the streets in red. Oh yeah. From the mountains of Cayet to the streets of St. John, there's no running away when they come your way. Bollywood undead covering the streets in red. Oh yeah. Beware the ghouls that rise from the dead. They feed on your flesh. Flesh is their bread. Bollywood undead covering the streets in red. Oh yeah. Bollywood undead covering the streets in red. Oh yeah.